Hello, everybody. Welcome to another video. This is video number 2. Okay. Thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate your time that you're dedicating to watch my video. Honestly, I am so grateful. So we are in video number 2. If you haven't watched my introduction video, kindly do so that you know what this channel is all about. So my first video, I'm happy. I'm happy and grateful that people took their time to view my video. I guys, I appreciate that. I just want to send a shout out to 35 of you that actually subscribed and 93 or 95 of you that viewed my video. I am so grateful. Listen, nobody could have prepared me the amount of love and support that I received. It was just so overwhelming because I didn't expect my video to be supported like that. But you know what? Flag that. Flag that. So I'm just going to talk about a very personal part of my life. But I want to share because I am who I am today because of that experience. So I think you also going to learn, or you also going to, maybe you went through the same thing, you're just also going to feel motivated that, oh, I'm not alone. Or you're just going to feel like maybe you're going through it now and you're just going to feel like, if she was able to go through that and she's okay, then I can also be okay. That's the reason why I want to share that, honestly. So before we do that, I prepared an introduction for the video. Okay, so here it goes. Hi, I'm Beauty and welcome to Beauty in Progress, a place to rediscover yourself, grow every day, and become the best person you've always meant to be. None of that, guys. Do you like it? I like it. I like it. I don't know if it's something that I'm going to roll with going forward, but I like it. It makes sense, you know? So let's get into the video. So this is a story that played a huge role in my life, because if it wasn't for this experience, I wouldn't have been where I am today. I think we all have those situations or experiences that when we go through them, they shape us either for the good, either for the bad, but for some reason they do what they need to do. Okay. So this is mine. I think it shaped me for the better in this case. Okay. So growing up, I always wanted to be a clinical psychologist. Yes, at first I wasn't fully exposed with exactly what a clinical psychologist does. I didn't know what mental health is or mental disorders is. I had no idea, because in our society, we growing up, we didn't have those terminologies of mental disorder. We just label everyone who looks mentally not okay as, that word, right? So let me just refer to this one movie that I watched. It's a beautiful, I think the name is Beautiful Mind. A Beautiful Mind. It's a Beautiful Mind or Beautiful Mind. That one is specifically about schizophrenia. But I didn't know how all of that worked, but I just liked the concept of understanding that and helping people who are actually going through those. But let's not get into that, okay? So basically, yes, I wanted to be a clinical psychologist because of cliche reasons. I want to help people, I want to understand people, all of that. I want to make a difference in the community. All these cliche reasons that we give when we are young, right? But that was my dream. So growing up from high school, my life was just around it. So I would study in my mind, that's the end goal, right? So even the university that I picked was a university that I, at the time, was regarded as a good university for that specific course and also closer to home. I passed my matric and I went to varsity. And here I am, this young girl, very ambitious, very disciplined, very positive, because I am hoping and praying and working towards this beautiful identity that I have in my head. So I went to varsity, got admitted exactly for what I wanted to study, which is psychology. And I did my own research at the time. I just had to study, I just had to do what is required of me for me to actually get into that program. So I was very informed when it comes to the process of how to be a clinical psychologist. Now, before we get into my journey there in varsity, for people who don't know how the process of psychology is in South Africa, so you need to pass your undergraduate degree. You need to pass with like 80 to 90%, honestly, because if you don't, the honors to, so you need to pass with 80 to 90, so your average needs to be around that, and then you need to pass your undergraduate. That is you passing your undergraduate, right? Okay, so now getting into the honors, which is the next step after undergraduate, there are a few requirements that you need to meet. So that would be your academic record for the undergrad. It has to be like 80, 90 average to be on the safe side. And then you also need to have a volunteering experience. That would be 12 months, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then you need to have a working experience. Also, it needs to be like 1 year to 2 years. And then you also need to go through therapy. And then some universities have a requirement of passing your selection test. Others, you need to write an essay. So you need to write an essay motivating why you would like to be in the program. All right. So then if you meet the requirements, then you get in. And also it's worth noting that some universities actually take 60 people, 60 students. So others can take 50, others 40, but maximum is 60. So you need to be the top for you to make it to the 60, because imagine it's the whole of South Africa. And then if you get in, you need to also pass that obviously with 80 to 90 average. No, I'm actually having my story mixed up. So honors, you just need your good academic record. You need to write a selection test or that essay. Then you will be admitted. Then for honors, that's when you need to have all of those: volunteering experience, working experience, good academic record, and selection process. So, and also go therapy experience. And then when you get into masters, you need to pass. Obviously, your academic record needs to be good, and then you need to qualify to write the board exam. And then you write the board exam. Once you pass the board exam, then you are a fully registered psychologist. It could be research, educational, clinical, and so on. So yeah, that's the whole process of being a psychologist in South Africa. Another thing is when you go to masters, some universities can take only 12 people, others 6, others 10, others 12. So you also need to make sure you are one of the top students for you to get into that master's program. So that's the whole process. Back to my story now. I didn't have a problem with all of that. I had no problem because I didn't doubt my capability of achieving all of those things. So me passing, going to my first year, walk in the park, second year, walk in the park, third year, walk in the park. I was just looking forward to the next year because I'm like, honors, here I come. Okay. Little did I know that that would be the turning point of my life. I had to leave the love of my life. Do you understand? My whole life, my whole identity, I had to just cut ties because it's not going to work. But let me tell you what happened. Let me go back. So now I'm in my third year, passing my third year, obviously, applying for honors. Now, when I'm applying for honors, I get accepted for educational psychology instead of clinical. And I'm like, hell no. Hell no. I applied for clinical. Why am I being accepted for educational? I'm not doing this. I'm gonna apply again. I'm gonna apply for the next year. So that year I was at home. So luckily during that year, I think around June, then I got an internship. Internship was 12 months, so obviously it lapsed to the other year until June. Remember, the goal was to enroll for honors. So I kept on applying in 2022. And I was accepted again, but I was accepted for something that I still don't want. But because now I'm busy with an internship, I didn't lose hope. I didn't lose hope. That's how persistent I was. I didn't leave any room for negative emotions to take over. I was just reminding myself, you know what, girl? It's okay. It's okay. You're still young. You still got this. Just continue with the internship and also apply again. Mind you, this will be the third time applying, 2023. Then, okay, I'm busy with an internship. Then I apply again and then I got rejected again. I will not even forget that day. I was just so shattered. I was just so disappointed. I though I felt like the walls were closing in. I was sitting in the bedroom and okay, I see the notification that okay, an email. I don't remember which university, but I think it was University of Free State, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Okay. And so I got the email, and the email was like, "We regret to inform you." That was the last straw for me. That was like the last nail because that was the last nail to my coffin, honestly, because I had so much hope. I had so much faith that things are going to work out, you know, because this is the love of my life, man. Like, my life is surrounded, is built, is set up for this. My personality, my habits, my hobbies, my whole lifestyle is around me being a psychologist. And then, boom, everything was just shattered in front of me. There and then, I decided I am no longer applying for this. I am no longer gonna try to get into this. I'm gonna focus on the job that I'm doing and see what happens after that. It was a phase in my life where, you know, when you no longer know yourself because the only thing that you've known is not there anymore. Things are not aligning anymore and things are not making sense. I remember the way I was crying. I was so angry at God. I used to ask God, like, why do you allow me to even study this? Do you allow me to do all of these things? And then you know that I'm not going to be able to go in. You know, I'm not going to be able to go through the whole program. And the reason why I'm actually triggered by this topic, to be honest, guys, last year I went through therapy, as I've mentioned in my introduction video, that 2025 was brutal. 2025 was so brutal that I was going through therapy sessions, not just it was that, yeah. So I would just look at that lady that would be counseling me, and I'm just like, this was supposed to be my job. This was supposed to be my thing. I remember I even told the therapist that, you just opened old wounds because this is what I wanted for myself. So, long story short, yeah, guys, I have a failed dream. I have a failed dream that I grieved for so long. The only way for me to move on and keep on living a healthy life was for me to let go. As painful as it was, as disappointing as it was. Because sometimes things don't happen the way you want them to happen. So I learned a lot from that journey. Let me tell you something. I'm glad that I went through that because I had to learn that it's okay for things not to go your way. And it's okay to give up on something because it's no longer serving you anymore. Now it's hurting you because now I was starting to lose confidence in my ability to do things, in my intellectual capabilities. I was just thinking I'm not good enough. I'm not meant to be something. I appreciate the journey. Hence, I'm able to just sit here and talk about it, and reflect on it. Yeah, that's what I wanted you guys to hear. So now, let me tell you why I wanted to talk about this, because I wanted to show you where the whole thing came from. So now here we are. So now it's 2026, right? I had a life-changing turning point. I had to pivot. I had to change a career. I had to be like, girl, this didn't work. Let's try something else. So I decided to study something very different from what I know. So in high school, I did physics and life sciences and all of those. So I had to do something related to accounting, business management. Yo, accounting. I failed that thing in grade 9 and grade 8, grade 9. That was not my thing. I didn't like it. It didn't make sense to me. It still does not. So I decided to enroll for another degree, logistics and supply chain management. So I'm doing my final year. But I also still have a little bit of fear that things might not work out with this degree as well. But it's okay. It's okay. Even if it doesn't, there's a reason why God gave me an opportunity to do something else, and specifically this. I will obviously get lessons later. My goal is to get to the PhD level. That's my goal. I want to be Dr. Damor, at some point. So we don't know. We'll see. What I want you to take away from my story, honestly, if you're someone that you've been working towards a business, you've been working towards a degree or any other qualification, anything that you are actually working towards, honestly, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not saying give up on your dreams, guys. don't say that I said you should give up. I'm not saying that. But this is for people that feels like I've been doing this and I'm tired. And I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to go forward anymore with this. It's okay to pivot, it's okay to change direction, and it's okay to start over something. It's okay to take a break. Sometimes you just need to take a break and start again. Sometimes you can just pivot, try something else, dip into the interest that you have. You might find something very interesting and uplifting and motivating and interesting to embark in. This is a new year, and people are creating vision boards, people are goal setting, people are looking into the goals that they had years ago. So I want to also let you know that you don't have to feel confused. You might be feeling confused now. You might be feeling demotivated. You might be feeling like you want to give up in you. I just want you to try to make a lemonade out of the lemons, try to make something out of what has been. And I'm not saying it will work. I cannot promise you that. But I can promise you it's going to give you a little bit of faith that life can be different from what you had initially imagined. And this is one of the things that I appreciate in my life, because with all the knowledge that I've acquired in psychology, going through that undergraduate degree, I am who I am. I've received a lot of people's advices back in the days when I used to talk about this with around my loved ones, and they used to tell me that you need to try again, you need to give it a chance, but they don't understand how psychological damaging that is to my mental health, and they don't understand how traumatizing that is. If you constantly receive negative feedback from something, it ends up affecting your confidence. It affects a lot of things, your self-image, your self-trust. You just question a lot of things because things are not aligning. So that's the whole point of the video, guys, is as much as it's that time of the year where we're doing vision boards, where we are goal setting for 2026, just remember to also give yourself grace. Just also remember that things sometimes need time, and it's okay to take a break. It's okay to pivot. You'll come back to it if you have to. It's okay to keep on hoping that something good is going to happen out of anything, because now we even got to a point in life where nothing is guaranteed. So yeah, guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really watched until the end, I would like you to comment blue, the word blue with the blue heart. Then I would know you watched until the end. And thank you so much for taking your time also. And please don't forget to subscribe, and also to like, and also to leave that blue heart comment. The next video is gonna be a vlog instead of a sit down, so let's see how that also goes. See you next week.